apparently there's a rumor on the internet. There's a lot of them, aren't there? This one greatly amused me. Look, guys, if you see something on the internet, we're on the internet. Of course, just do your due diligence. What source does it come from? What research backs it up? Mainly, I'm asking you to just pause when you get a meme. When you see something on Facebook or Twitter that's just like pasted together, just pause for a second and say, does this make sense? Could it possibly make sense? And you're already on the internet. Just do one more click. Just like Google it, and you'll find a Snopes or PolitiFact or maybe us, possibly either confirming it or debunking it. So in this case, there's a rumor started by 4chan. Okay, so already end of conversation, but it's not. But let's give it its due. And by the way, 4chan likes to cause trouble, and 4chan is not a human being. It is people that go to that website. It's not one monolith. But and sometimes they'll cause real trouble. They'll say, oh, let's go trolling, and that's when they do, that's a real news story. Now, whether you like it or not, it might have real effects. And sometimes people report just on the effect of the trolling, and that's what's happening here. This is an obvious attempt to troll Bernie Sanders, but it's still flying around the internet anyway, as fast as perhaps an Audi. Okay, so it's the story of how Bernie Sanders is theoretically driving an Audi R8, I think, that is over $170,000. So they have a picture here, and so they say, oh, that's it, that's Bernie Sanders in that car. First of all, you have no idea if that's Bernie Sanders. And I think there's this thing called Photoshop. Plus, I don't think that guy is Bernie Sanders. It doesn't matter. We're going to debunk it in 1,000 different ways. So here was the post on 4chan. WTF, Bernie? Is this where my campaign donations are going because that was my daughter's college fund? Blacks are experiencing institutionalized racism on a daily basis and you're out here flossing? Bernie! What I love about that trolling is that they're pretending that they're liberals who you gave your daughter's college fund money because you worried about institutionalized racism and now you're mad at Bernie. Of course. Of course you did and of course you are. So, all right, we go to Snopes. The image is purportedly showing Bernie's campaign vehicles because they showed that car behind his motorcade in the pictures. Purportedly showing Bernie's campaign vehicles actually capture the tour bus and SUV of a pro-Sanders group called Black Men for Bernie. Although the tour bus and SUV photographs are real, the Audi that Sanders was purportedly driving didn't appear in any of the images showing the Black Men for Bernie cars. Okay, look, there's a ton of this. I'm going to just give you one more little note here, and then I'll go back to all the comments they had. They claim that Bernie is in the Audi behind his motorcade, and he's driving along like, yeah, what's up? Nobody drives behind their motorcade for shits and giggles. And certainly not Bernie Sanders. And the Secret Service wouldn't allow it anyway. There's nobody else in the car. Secret Service, oh, you'd like to go out for a spin? Ah, sure, go do whatever you like. That's not how things work. All right, back to Snopes. Sanders was stumping in Arizona that day and was not scheduled to appear with Black Men for Bernie. So he's nowhere near them. It's that picture they showed, he's not even in the right state. Okay, then they go to another picture because they got to keep this trolling going on. They say Bernie panders using gullible donors' money for expensive German supercar. There he is again. They got him. Well, it turns out that picture is real, but not exactly in the way that they explain. Snopes says this particular photograph of Bernie Sanders is real, but it doesn't show an Audi R8. It was taken from Sanders' official government page and depicts the senator standing next to a Tesla electric vehicle at a charging station. This stuff isn't difficult, man. You just throw up anything on the internet. And memes. They love the memes. They're like, oh, dude, that's so true. I'm sending that to all my uncle and my aunt. Okay, all right, bring it down. The claim the presidential candidate Bernie Sanders spent campaign donations on a sports car worth $172,000 isn't based on any factual information or documented evidence, but instead on nothing more than a blurry photograph of a man who bears a passing resemblance to the Democratic presidential candidate driving a car that looks like it might be an expensive Audi R8 in an area that doesn't look anything like Arizona on a day when Sanders was stumping in that state. And here's one more obvious clue that it's fake. They don't have any of the license plates. So you took a picture of a caravan of cars and you didn't happen to catch any license plates. Gee, I wonder if you're faking it. I can't quite tell. Go on. But unfortunately, a lot of people believe this. So Snopes does a great job of debunking myths like this, and we're here to help as well.